Hey everybody, Shawn Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com, bringing another tying video this week. This week it's a CDC waltz worm. Where I got the pattern from was from Tim Cammisa's new book on Euro Nymphs. This is a great book. I can't suggest it highly enough. So much so that I'm going to do a series of flies out of the book here. Today's is going to be the CDC Sexy Waltz. And I'm going to get into tying it, and then whenever I'm done tying it, I'm going to talk a little bit about Tim's book and some of the other patterns that I'm going to be tying. So have fun tying this, guys. I'm sure you're going to like it. Here you're going to see a picture of the fly, then the material list to tie it. Okay, here you see the CDC Sexy Waltz in the vise. Very buggy little pattern. The CDC is going to give you some extra life into an already deadly fly, the Sexy Waltz worm. Let's get into it here. For a hook, I'm going to use the Fulling Mills 5125. I'm going to tie this in 16s and 18s. You can tie it up into 14s too. It'll fish just fine. For a bead on this 16, I'm using a 3.0. These hooks are made to go heavy. So if you want to go a little heavier on this, do a 3.5 on that 16. It'll work fine. But I'm doing a 3.0. I like how it looks on here. Next thing I'm going to put on is some thread. It's Semperfli Nanosilk 12-watt red on this. It'll give me just a touch of a red collar at the end. And I'm just going to wrap that bead into place with my thread. You can put a couple red lead wraps here if you want to give it a little bit of extra weight, but I want to keep this thing thin. So I'm just going to lock it into place with my thread, as you see there. Next thing I'm going to put on is a piece of monofilament. This is just 2-pound test leader that I have laying around. You can put on fluoro, mono, whatever you got laying around. Just keep it thin. This is just going to be a ribbing, just to give it a little bit of extra. You could actually do a little bit of flash here, like one strand of crystal flash would work nice too. I'm going to give it a little bit of extra bling to it. And now it's time for the dubbing. For the dubbing, I'm just using some Hare's Ear Plus, Hare's Ear dubbing. This is just natural. And putting it on here thin. I do not want to make it thick. I say it all the time in my videos, humans are the only thing with an obesity problem. Keep your flies thin. They'll work a lot better, they'll sink quicker. You'll catch more fish when you get it in the fish's face faster and longer. So start it right back there at the bend, and we're going to wrap it up thin, and we're going to wrap it right up to that bead. So get up to the bead there. Wrap it off, and then we're going to bring our rib up. And just a little extra protection. You can brush this out a little bit, but I'm going to keep it thin. You can brush it out and make it buggy if you like, but I'm fine with it like that. Now, next up we're going to put the CDC collar on there. For the CDC, I'm going to take a feather. As you see here, I'm going to take it and I'm going to pull all the fibers backwards, make them all stand up. Then I'm going to put it in my CDC clamp, and I'm going to put one side in the clamp here, like this. I'm going to take one side, cut it off right along that stem, and you'll just have one side in the clamp. Now I'm going to set that down for a second, and the way I'm going to do this collar is the way I did Old Dominion Trout Bum did Jack Daniels fly. I love the way he did the collar on there, so I'm going to do that with this one. It works real well. I'm taking a tiny pinch, and I'm talking like that much. That's it. You see how much I got there? A very, very tiny pinch. Dub it on my thread, and I'm going to bring it right up there to the bead. I'm going to create a dubbing loop out of this, just on one side, putting dubbing just on one side, and I'm going to make a loop. Okay, so there you can see my thread just on the one side. I'm going to put my dubbing twister tool on here, and we're going to make a loop out of that. And then I'm going to take my tool with my CDC in it, and I'm going to put that in my loop next. Put that in right at the tips. Pinch down on it. So you can see there I got just sticking out. I'm going to give that a twist. Give that a twist, let that spin around. I'm making my collar. There, now you can see I got a nice little CDC rope. I'm just going to twist that collar on there. This protects it all, makes a nice tight CDC wrap. And you don't have to make too many wraps here. I'm going to make about 2 or 3 wraps, that's it. Tie that off. Trim off my dubbing loop. And do a whip finish and we're done. Now you can use brown thread, whatever color thread you want. I'm just using this Semperfli red because it's going to give just a slight little tiny collar there. I want to keep my collar small, but it gives you that sexy Walt's hotspot collar. So trim that off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my fingers, I'm going to pull the fibers back, and with my thumb, I'm just going to take and trim all the fibers with my thumb to about the length of the fly like that. And there you go, you got the CDC sexy Walt's worm, and that thing will catch a fish. Very quick to tie, very buggy, and will get you a lot of fish. Okay guys, this is a fly that's plain just gonna catch fish. This is one you need in your box. Walt's worm slay, and by adding a little bit of CDC to it, it's gonna give it a lot of extra movement in the water, and it's gonna catch a fish. Like I said, this came out of Tim Cammisa's new books. Tim's a really good friend of mine. I wanted to share his book and promote it a little bit for him. And just I'm going to share a couple patterns that I found that I really like and have added to my fly box this year. Some of them are going to be featured in the book. Some of them are just going to be mentioned in the book. But anyways, I highly suggest this. He did a really good job of talking to competitive fly anglers from around the world and getting their pick on what their top nymphs would be, what they like to fish, how they like to fish it. Not all nymphs too, there's a couple dry flies and streamers in it too. So highly suggest getting this book. If you have the chance, pick one up wherever you can get it. So have fun tying, guys. Like always, if you need any of the material to tie this fly, you can find it at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. Don't be afraid to change colors on this one too, guys. Tie it in multiple colors, it will catch fish. So have fun. If you need anything, you can reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. If you got any questions or want to comment or anything like that, please drop a comment down below. If you got Tim's book and you really like it, drop a comment down there and tell me what your favorite pattern in the book was. So thanks for watching. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.